Hello guys, I hope you're ready for the new story, Explorer of the Deep Sea, written by Steph Gillen. The life of Jacques Yves Cousteau. There is an amazing world under the sea, full of wild and beautiful creatures. One man, more than any other, helped us to learn about it. His name was Jacques Yves Cousteau. He was born in Saint-André de Cubzac, France, on June 11, 1910. When he was just 4 years old, he learned to swim, which was the beginning of his lifelong love of the sea. When he was 10 years old, he moved with his family to New York, and they lived there until he was 12. In America, he learned English and continued to swim and snorkel whenever he had a chance. Jacques went to summer camp in Vermont, but because he refused to participate in horseback riding, the camp direct sent him to pick up garbage at the bottom of the lake to make it safe for diving. This is where Jacques first learned to hold his breath underwater for longer periods of time. Around the time Jacques returned to France with his family, he became interested in mechanical objects and how they work. First, he bought a movie camera. Then, he took it apart, paying close attention as he reassembled it. After that, he started filming everything around him. Jacques was always asking questions about how things worked, but despite Jacques' curiosity, he did not do well in school. He got in trouble a lot, so his parents decided to send him to boarding school. When he graduated school, he went to the French Naval Academy and finally joined the Navy. In the Navy, Jacques traveled all over the world. He took his camera with him on his journey and took many photos of the different places he visited. He loved his camera almost as much as he loved the sea. With his photos, he learned he could show other people places they had not been. In 1933, Jacques was in a terrible car accident. He was badly hurt and broke both arms. To help his arms heal and make them stronger, he swam. Swimming seemed to be the answer to any problem Jacques had. To make Jacques' swimming even more enjoyable, his friend, Philippe Taillet, gave him goggles so he could see underwater. He couldn't believe what he saw. He fell in love with the beauty of the animals and plants that made their home in the sea. This is when he decided to make underwater exploration his life's work. In 1943, Jacques became friends with Emile Gagnon, an engineer who shared his interest in discovery. Because they were both smart, determined, and willing to work hard to solve problems, Jacques thought they could work together to make exploring the ocean easier and safer. The first diving suits, used for breathing underwater, were really heavy, and the airflow wasn't controlled well, so the diver could only stay underwater for short periods of time. Jacques and Emile spent hours trying many different things to make the equipment better. In 1943, together, the friends developed the aqualung, a tank of air a diver wore on his back with a tube leading to his mouth. The aqualung let a swimmer breathe in very deep water, without the heavy helmet and air tube going to the ship. The diver could move around more easily. Now, Jacques could explore places no one had before. We call this gear scuba, self-contained underwater breathing apparatus. Once Jacques' friend Philippe helped him see underwater with goggles, now Jacques could help Philippe breathe underwater. In 1948, Jacques taught Philippe and other divers to use the aqualung. They made an underwater expedition in the Mediterranean Sea to a Roman shipwreck. It was the first underwater archaeology work. Today, shipwrecks are popular places for divers to explore and to learn about history or just to get a view into the past. Around this time, Jacques also helped develop an underwater camera that could be used in deep water. This invention will change his life and the way we learn about the oceans. Jacques' neighbor, Marcel Ichat, shared his passion for exploration, and together they made the first French underwater movie, titled 19 Meters Deep. Jacques taught other divers to use a camera, and the crew made another movie called Shipwrecks. Underneath their diving suits, the deep sea explorers wore special clothes because the temperature at the bottom of the ocean was so cold. Jacques always wore a red hat, which became an icon for all deep sea divers. Jacques wanted to explore farther, but for this, he needed a ship. He shared his plans for exploring with a friend. His friend was very wealthy, and he liked to use his money to help people. So he bought Jacques a ship and let him use it for his research. The ship's name was Calypso. It would one day be as famous as Jacques himself. But even though he had the ship, all the exploration was expensive. In 1953, Jacques wrote a book to raise money for his adventures, which was later made into an award-winning movie. Many people could see all the wonderful things Jacques saw on his dives. It even inspired more people to take up scuba diving. With the money he made from the book, Jacques was able to explore the oceans and seas of the world. The sea became his laboratory. Jacques discovered never-before-seen creatures and learned many new things. He was the first person to understand that dolphins communicate with each other using special sounds. The world was hungry for more tales and images from Jacques' expedition. The television series The Undersea World of Jacques Cousteau began in 1968. The show explored marine life all over the world. Millions of people watched it. Viewers could go underwater with Jacques and his crew. The divers swam with whales, octopuses, and were pulled along by giant turtles. The underwater cameras caught it all on film. The more time Jacques spent in the ocean, the more he saw how humans were destroying life underwater. Sometimes people dump garbage and oil into the ocean, or they fish too much. Jacques wanted people to know that what we do can hurt marine life. In 1973, he founded the Cousteau Society so other people could help protect the world's oceans for tomorrow's generations. The society teaches adults and children about animals and plants in rivers, lakes, seas, and oceans, and how pollution affects our water. It also asks governments to make laws to protect ocean environments and shows people ways to make the world's water safer for all of us. Jacques was 87 years old when he died in Paris on June 25, 1997. He continued to make discoveries about the wonders under the sea right after the day he died. In his honor, the street in front of the house where was born is named Rue du Commandant Cousteau, or Street of Commander Cousteau. I spend my life, he said, amazed by nature and dazzled by the experiences of life. Today, people all over the world can dive deep underwater to see the amazing creatures and plants that live there. Some do it to study and make discoveries. Some do it just for fun. For whatever reason they go diving, they are all inspired by the work of Jacques Cousteau and can breathe underwater because of his inventions.